Hey, it's Margaret Crenshaw with the Prud'homme team at Carolina Realty Group, and today we're talking real estate stuff. David is our team leader, listing team leader, and Dick is just a legend. Combined together, they have about 56 years of experience in the business, and they bring their expertise to the table every day. David, actually, you sold the highest?
Yeah, the highest priced residential sale in Hilton Island history last summer at 14 Whistling Swan for $9.9 million.
$9.9 million. So David broke a record. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We're just happy to have you. Everybody on the buyer team is always asking these two for their advice. So I wanted to have them on today because so a lot of my buyers call in and they're asking me questions that really your answers to these questions are really what they need to hear. The first thing would be buyers are saying things to me like, I don't think I'm getting your emails anymore because nothing's coming. My answer to that, I think, is maybe because inventory is low. So I'd like for you to just explain what you guys are doing behind the scenes to get listings for our buyers to purchase.
Yep, so that's correct. I mean, inventory has been light for quite a while. It's no secret here in the market or, nationally as well. It's a news story that's been filtering around for a long time that buyers are having difficulty locating stuff, and there's bidding wars out there, and it's no different here on the island than it is anywhere else. What we're doing right now to get listings is really a combination of cold calls that Dick does on a daily basis.
Dick is the king of cold calling.
Yep, I mean, he does it for hours a day, and he's great at having conversations.
I don't know how you do it. It's amazing.
How do you do it?
It's just one foot in front of the other. That's all I can tell you, Margaret.
That's great advice.
You just pick up the phone and you do it. It's actually very interesting to speak to different people. And to your point, I think, one of the reasons that, and a lot of the people that I speak to, they're telling me that, when I call them and say, would you sell? They love Hilton Head. Where would they go? And there's a little bit of what I call a log jam in the market, in that there's no doubt there's a shortage, and I think that's, people love Hilton Head. So that's one of the criteria that, when I speak to people, they hesitate to leave Hilton Head. But
so they don't care that in this market right now they could get, in some cases, twice what they paid for it. They love Hilton Head so much they're not leaving.
It's incredible to me, but that's in a way it is, but in a way it's not too. I mean, it's a special place, but money doesn't seem to entice people right now, at least right this minute. So there are other factors that people take into consideration when they're selling, obviously, but with a lot of people that we speak to, the money doesn't seem to be as big a deal as you would think it would be.
So we're cold calling. What are the other?
So in addition to cold calling, we have our monthly market reports that go out on a monthly basis to all of our areas. You see Pines, Forest Beach, Palmetto Dunes, Port Royal. That's all really to provide information to people and to generate listings. We have our postcards that go out after every sale, when we put something under contract or when we sell it. And then lastly, I'm working on my main focus, while Dick's is cold calling, mine is targeted mailings. And whether that's handwritten notes to a select 5 or 6 homes that somebody's specifically looking for, or that's a 600-piece mailing to try and drive a listing out of the plethora of buyers that you, and along with the rest of the buyer team, have currently, people that are looking for real estate.
That's right. So I think what's interesting in the technological age that we're in, that mailings really still hold a place in the marketing scheme. And how would you say the response is? What's the response that you receive?
The response is, overall, when we look statistically, the response from mailing is very good. The mailings, the direct mailings that I've been doing that are more personalized rather than being general. We've had good success with people picking up the phone, whether it's literally just to tell me that no, they don't want to sell. It sparks a conversation, or maybe it's just a yes, like, hey, I've been looking, and let's do something. It's kind of ebbs and flows, but statistically, when we look at the responses we get from our market reports or these personalized mailings, we've been getting good feedback from them in recent times.
Yeah. The other thing too, that the listing team and the buyer team do work together. When a buyer's agent such as myself has a certain client that's looking for something sort of specific, I usually take it to you guys. Hey, like, do you happen to have a 123 Banana Street available for sale? That's the kind of house that my buyer is looking for. And then I know that you all take action to try and specifically target our needs.
Yep, absolutely. And that's mainly with
I was going to say, I think that's one of the beauties of how our team is structured, because we can concentrate the majority of our time on trying to find inventory for the buyer's agents on our team to sell. Whereas just a single agent, if you're out all day showing property, it's difficult at the end of the day to come home, start making phone calls. There's just not enough hours in the day, as you know, from your schedule, taking care of clients. And then,
there's also a special skill to cold calling that I think is, sometimes as buyer agents, we have that salesperson tone and we get hung up on a lot, quite frankly. So you have success in drumming up conversation with people. It's an art form. And I think that's why you're the legend.
But I think with the help of our buyers agents, Margaret, we can kind of target the people that we're calling based on the needs of the clients that we're working with on the buyer team. In other words, you have a client that's looking from New York that wants a specific type of property in a specific area, we can kind of target that area. So that, I think that works, hand in glove with everybody on the team. So, and again, I think that's a difficult thing to do for a single agent to do.
That's right.
We've touched on cold calling, we've touched on mailing. We haven't even touched on our electronic stuff too, our mailing lists, our social media. Those are all pieces that we utilize to generate business. And we get things off of, your post, Kim's post, Dan's Market Mondays, all these things that we're putting out there, all it does is generate conversations.
Right.
And then between Dick and I, that's
right.
We jump in.
That's right. Our marketing department is incredible with all the video work that we're doing and really solidifying the brand of the Prud'homme team and all of the different agents working on the team, bringing their own personality and just letting, that gains traction in the community and in our databases when we're seen a lot and heard a lot.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit more about once you do get someone interested in selling, and how do you go about setting the price? I know you look at the market, you look at some things, but explain to the database that.
Yeah, I take a market approach, looking at comparable sales, looking at when things sold, looking at what has the market appreciated at? Because in the last 2 years, the market has vastly changed from where we were before the pandemic. So that takes a huge role into my analysis. It depends on how close you are to the beach, what floor are you on if it's a condo, your proximity to amenities within a community. There's a lot of things that go into it, but a lot of it comes from experience and knowing and watching what the market does. Dick and I, we study the market constantly. That's what we do when we
another strength for us as buyers agents, that we don't always have time to do that too.
So we spend the time studying the market so that we can be ready when the time comes for us to do an analysis.
A lot of buyers too are asking me, for instance, it's the Hilton Head area is, inventory is very tight, and I think a lot of my buyers are expanding their search out past Hilton Head, past Bluffton, into Okatee, towards Beaufort, towards Savannah. And being a 50-year island resident, when all of those places used to be nothing, it's been a little bit of a learning curve for me. And so folks are asking me when I'm showing, out towards Beaufort and out towards Savannah, are those areas holding their value? Are they appreciating in the same way?
Statistically, it seems to be. I'm not studious of that market overall, but from what I'm seeing on a daily basis, depending on where things are going under contract, is kind of my barometer for that market. Every day I would say that we log in and we see numerous properties going under contract out there.
Well, specifically too. I mean, if you look look at the three, what I call the big three, and over the bridge, Carlton, Belfair, and Berkeley Hall, those communities have done a dramatic turnaround since COVID started, where there was an enormous amount of inventory, and now, I looked earlier today. I think in Belfair there were 3 homes for sale. So, and the prices in there have dramatically increased. Yes, mm-hmm. I would tell you, Hampton Hall, Hampton Lake, all those properties have, I think, tremendously increased in value. Yes.
Yeah, I think so too, and that's been my best guess. But I wanted to hear it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, in terms of what areas on the, I know, so you just actually mentioned Bluffton, Belfair, Berkeley, and Carlton River on Island. What are the communities that are really showing the most amount of appreciation?
Yeah, I mean, Sea Pines leads the way.
Always.
I think that's a well-known commodity in our marketplace.
It's the flagship resort community of its kind in the world, and it's really the one by which so many other people have modeled what they're doing, and it stands to reason. It's still it's the oldest, but it's still relevant.
Yep.
And it's still what people love.
And so Sea Pines has led the way. It has historically. It has during this charge. Palmetto Dunes is not far behind. And then, if you couple in Forest Beach and Port Royal, it's the same thing. I mean, but Sea Pines has definitely led.
Not deadly.
Not deadly. Definitely led the way during this run in real estate we've had in the last 2 years.
Fantastic. That's really fantastic. Well, I really appreciate the fact that you have joined me today. Is there anything else that you can add to this discussion, maybe that I forgot?
Well, I would say that, for anyone that's working with Margaret or any of our, agents on the team, is, as I've said to most of you throughout this entire time, is make sure you're ready to buy. Have all of your ducks in a row, because there's going to always be competition. It doesn't matter how much work a house needs or how little it needs. There's always going to be competition out there.
Yeah, so just so y'all know, the reason I do this is because when I say things, sometimes people don't listen to me, but people tend to listen to we call him Jetson. People tend to listen to Jetsons.
Every once in a while they listen to me. Yeah.
So get your ducks in a row.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it, and glad that you all got to meet and listen to these two brilliant people, and I'll see you next week.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks.